The Green Bay Packers host the hobbled Detroit Lions in this NFC North battle in Week 3 of NFL action. The Detroit Lions definitely lost more than a football game in Week 2, as multiple Lions players either took a beating or suffered injuries in the loss to the Tennessee Titans. This line opened at 8.5 at the books, but the sharp players have snagged the line value to push it down a bit. Detroit's upset win over Indianapolis, coupled with the Tennessee Titans' disappointing home loss to Minnesota, led to overreactions in the NFL betting market. The Lions are now 1-1 straight up and against the spread on the season, while the Packers are 0-2 against the spread, but they won on the road in Jacksonville in Week 1. We'll have to guess this week regarding Detroit's injury situations, as Coach Jim Caldwell provided no updates during his media scrum on Monday. It was a rough day all around for the Lions, who committed 17 penalties in the loss to Tennessee. Matthew Stafford was very clearly favoring his knee late in the game after a low hit. He was sacked 4 times, but he still managed to throw for 260 yards on 22 completions. He lost top running back Amir Abdullah after just 6 carries for 38 yards, as Detroit ran for 6 yards per attempt. Abdullah is seeing a foot specialist, so expect him to sit and all-purpose threat Theo Riddick to get his playing time. The Lions will need as many hands on deck as possible because the defense is a wreck. Ziggy Ansah was one of the many Lions defenders to suffer some sort of injury last week, but there is some strong depth on the Detroit defensive line. Ansah's status is more in doubt than that of linebacker DeAndre Levy, who will likely miss this week's game completely. Kyle Van Noy also came up lame with a calf injury, but he gutted it out. The Lions are extremely thin at linebacker this week for a matchup against a very talented Packers offense. Last week's 16-15 final was a little bit misleading, as the Titans ran for 5.8 yards per carry and Marcus Mariota was 25 of 33 for 238 yards and a couple of scores. The defenses didn't have nearly as much success as that final score would indicate. That'll be something to watch with how banged up the Lions are this week. The Green Bay Packers offense is 29th in total yards heading into Week 3, and a lot of the blame is focused on Mike McCarthy's vanilla play calling that's making it too easy for defenders to focus on potential plays. Aaron Rodgers is a wasted asset in this offense right now. Because the Packers are easy to defend, Rodgers absorbed 5 sacks last week and was only 20 of 36 passing for 213 yards, a score and a pick. He also ran in a touchdown. Jordy Nelson finally got free a couple of times after a tentative Week 1 performance, but it was slow and methodical for the Packers to move the ball. Defensively, the Packers stuffed the run and forced Sam Bradford to beat them. The problem is that Sam Bradford did beat them. Bradford was 22 of 31 for 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. Green Bay had no answer for Stefon Diggs, which adds to the importance of Marvin Jones this week for the Lions. Blake Bortles spread the ball around for 13.3 yards per catch to 7 different receivers. Green Bay's secondary looks leaky right now when the front 7 doesn't get to the quarterback. The penalties were a saving grace for Tennessee's defense in Week 2, but the Packers may not get that same luxury this week. Obviously, shop around and catch a 7.5 points or higher if you can find one. The Lions are really banged up at the second level, but Mike McCarthy's stubbornness has him driving a Ferrari at 50 miles per hour. That makes the Packers too easy to defend. Expect Stafford and Jim Bob Cooter to find a game plan to exploit the Green Bay defense. In the tight NFL market, 7 points is a lot, and it's just too many here. Our pick is the Detroit Lions at plus 7 points. For our pick and prediction on this game and every other game this week, and a wealth of free stats and information, check out bangthebook.com.